this just goes to show the United States government cares more about Israel than it does its own veterans. So a 20-year serviceman in armed forces is being removed here from their positions and labeled a threat to national security for criticizing Israel. We are occupied, and we must remove these invaders. Let me go ahead and play this so you guys can hear it.
So after 20 years of service in the military, yesterday I got pulled into an officer's office and counseled for posts that I have on my social media. During the counseling, they told me I'm under investigation as a threat to national security.
Crazy.
When I asked for proof, like what the posts were yesterday, they refused to give it to me. They made me come back today to further go over stuff. They gave me the proof, and the proof they gave me are anti-Israel posts. Now, when I joined the military, I took an allegiance to support the United States of America. I did not ever take an allegiance to support Israel. But yet, I am deemed a threat to national security because I do not support Israel and their genocide against the Palestinian people. Yes, you heard that right. I am deemed a threat to national security because I don't support Israel's genocide against the Palestinian people.
So, I mean, this is not the first time this happened, though, because just a couple days ago, I did a report on a Pentagon staff member, I believe it was a colonel in the Pentagon, a senior commander or something to that regard, and he was actually removed from the Pentagon also because of his posts regarding Israel, and he specifically stated that Israel is a threat, Israel is destabilizing the region. He stated it was a Judeo death cult that is running Israel, and it's going to basically sear the region into chaos. And he also got removed from his position. So the United States actually doesn't give a damn about veterans or military officers or Pentagon staff or anybody if they criticize Israel, because ultimately you can't do that in the U.S. government because we're occupied by Zionists. Zionists control every aspect of this damn country. And I mean, it's even it really was just stabbed in the gut hearing about this merger too with Paramount and Warner Bros. Discovery. It's just kind of the next, it's just continuous gain of power that they're aiming for. They're losing massive amounts of support, but they're also gaining a lot of power. They're trying to purchase as much of the establishment as possible. I think they have the entire establishment at this point, every single inch of it, and yet they're still seeking more. 3 days ago, I made a video on the new Gallup polls showing that support for Israel is at an all-time low in the United States, and support for Palestinians is actually higher now. More Americans sympathize with Palestinians than they do Israelis. On the Republican side, support for Israel is now 69%. That sounds high, but that's dropping from like 84% from the year prior. And that 69%, if you do by breakdown, for Republicans under the age of 50, it's less than 50%. For Republicans under the age of 30, it's less than around 27%, 30%. Imagine Republicans under 25, I'd say almost non-existent. I'd say probably 15% or less. So it's really just, again, the older generation that's really holding down that strong support. But ultimately, even the older generation, they're seeing a massive decline too. Now, it's still very, very high in support, but it's declining. That number is declining. This was prior to the war, this recent war starting with Iran. This was the day before. This was started on the report was released on the 27th. So this was before all of this started. Now imagine what this war with Iran has just done for American support towards Israel, especially after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio made that statement saying that, well, we got dragged into this war. We got dragged in, and this is what we had to do for Israel. Well, it flatlined it. So that's the only silver lining in all of this, is that if Americans by now didn't recognize that we are controlled by a parasite that is destroying this country from the inside out, well, they've lost their damn minds. And, we talk a lot, I say a lot, yeah, Israel controls us. It's really Zionist. And when I say Zionist, it's important because it's not just Jewish Zionists. It is evangelical Zionists as well. Pete Hegseth is a massive, massive national security risk. Mike Huckabee is a massive, massive national security risk. So there needs to be a way to just uproot Zionism out of the U.S. They need to do some sort of I don't know. I'm all for religious liberties, but I think the political ideology of Zionism has bastardized Christianity and this evangelical faith. It's not you can't hold a position in government if you're going based off of your delusional beliefs. You can't do that. I thought there was a separation of church and state, and their entire agenda is based on their political beliefs. These people are lunatics, and they're running our foreign policy. And they're going to send the world into chaos. They're sending the world into chaos. I pray for midterms elections go well. I think, it's going to be a small thing, but what I'm hoping for is that at least there's a 15% shift. I hope 15% of the midterm elections go in our favor to where we see 15% of the new politicians in those seats being anti-Zionist. And I think we will. I don't think we're going to win every race where there is an anti-Israel, just a pro-America candidate, because ultimately it's going to be a grassroots person versus the establishment funding of $8-10 million plus. But regardless, we are still going to have some seats trickle in that are going to be anti-Israel, really pro-America, because of the tides turning. And even if it's just 15% of the midterm elections actually working out in our favor, it's going to be a major shift. I hope it's more. But we really need to start slowly chipping away at it. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So we'll just see what happens. That's it for this video, guys. If you found it interesting, I'd really appreciate it if you click the subscribe button below and give it a thumbs up. Also, the best way you can support my channel so I can do this for you guys as a full-time job. Super gifts and chats really help me out. Otherwise, join as a member as well. If you want to check out my membership, you can just click the join button below. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye. If you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below. Also, one of the best ways you can support my channel is by joining as a member. It's only $5 a month for the lowest tier, and you get access to member-only videos from me, and also you get to use these fun badges and emojis as well. So if you haven't yet, definitely check out my membership. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.